दोस्तों साथी को आपको स्वागत करते हैं जलसा फिजी रेडियो पे। मैं हूं प्रोग्राम डायरेक्टर विनेश और आप हमारे साथ देने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं साहिल और पहले एंड थैंक यू निको फॉर कमिंग एंड सपोर्टिंग अस विद वीडियोग्राफी। जी हाँ, इससे पहले हमने जो सभी आप बोला था कि हमारे जो गेस्ट है हमारे साथ तैयार हो चुके हैं। स्टीव ही इज अ शेफ बाय प्रोफेशन and a dancer by passion. So we'll be speaking to him in English. This episode will be in English from here on, so that we can communicate with our guests. So going straight to Steve, thank you Steve for joining us. Thank you for your time, and this is the first time, Steve. I can't just say that you are in safe hands. So this is my first experience interviewing someone like you who's a dancer, and me, of course, not having any such background. So we'll see how this interview goes, but yeah, we'll just take it on our chin, I guess. So Steve, to start with you, how are you feeling today?
I'm very well, thank you. Can't complain.
Yeah,
It was raining today, but price is beautiful today.
Yeah, it is a bit funny, yeah. So whoever is listening to us, if you are away from Christchurch, so I will let you know Christchurch has been playing up today, I guess, because it has been raining in the morning, then it was a bit okay, and then now sunshine is out there, but I think in the news it still says that there's possibility of rain, so it might change, then later in the day.
Yeah.
So Steve, yourself, what do you prefer, like rain, shine, or sunshine much more?
Can't complain. I think I prefer both. I love sunshine. I came from the hot countries. I'm originally from Indonesia. So
Indonesia, wow.
Yeah, and of course sunshine and sunrise and sunset. But Christchurch is beautiful as well. I mean, yeah.
I see. So what made you leave Indonesia and think about New Zealand?
That was about 25 years ago. It's about working actually as a chef as well.
I see.
Continued my study. I came from Europe, went back to Indonesia, and just trying New Zealand. But 25 years later, I'm still here, and then I'm part of a dance crew as well here in New Zealand.
Yes, I heard, yeah. Because my son Vivek, as you know, he's your Mike, not me. So he talks highly of you and others as well. But you are one of his kind of mentors. So he speaks highly about you. And he actually organized this interview, so we would like to thank Vivek as well for doing that. And let's talk about your profession first, like chef. So is it something you're interested in from childhood, like you're helping with your mom, I guess, with cooking, or is it later in your life you...
No, actually, I would say it's from childhood. It's always one that the story that I always say, that the reason why I started cooking was actually when I was a kid. I would keep watching all my neighbors, and I want to start cooking by myself as well. I think that's the main one. And then from then it just grew with me, like the passion of just, I don't know how you say it, eating. I think I can't complain with food. That's why, and always trying new stuff. And from there I get really more into cooking and stuff like that.
I see. I mean, many people actually learn cooking after they get married.
Yeah.
But in Indonesia, like, do you have like any delicacies that's your favorite, or that's something that has to be part of your meal all the time?
Well, first of all, I always say no rice, no power. And then I'm a big fan of any rice dish. But yeah, in saying that, I think I'm open now, but I do miss a lot of Indonesian cuisine.
Yep.
But now I think as I grow older and work in the kitchen, and there's always the new favorites. So yeah,
I see. And like where you work at the moment, I'm not sure whether you want to take the name of your firm or the place you work for. But the dishes, is it like Indonesian dishes?
No, so what I do now, I'm morely as a consultant now, and I work for myself. I work as a chef consultant and a sole trader, and I also do like a lot of filling in other places and helping them of building the kitchen. So it's more towards more a consulting job now, what I do, and all filling in as well. So I'm hardly in the kitchen now. I'm more into organizing, menu planning, and just helping. So that's what I do now.
I see. Wow. And I love you have you love your job, and you
love it. Love it.
Yeah. And apart from this profession, have you been doing any other work? It is just like chef from day one.
I've done other work. I've done what do you call it? Joinery. I've done as a painter as well. I did a painter, but chef from the day one. Straight from the day on, that's been my trade. I tried to stop, but it kept pulling me back. So I think I really like being in the kitchen, working in the kitchen as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and now we'll quickly switch on to your passion, which I guess is a dancer.
Yeah.
So once again, the same question: is it something that you get in from your childhood, or is it something that developed later on with your life?
Yeah, actually, it's from my childhood. Like back then, I think it started when I was in the Philippines. I was born, I grew up in the Philippines as well. So in the Philippines, they used to have like every village, they have their carnival or fiesta, and they used to have kids dance competition, and I think that's where I remember into my first dance competition when I was in the Philippines, and I think I was about 6 or 8 years old, between 6 years old to 8 years old, into the dance competition. And from then, and of course the influence of the American music video like Michael Jackson and stuff like that, and that was I think I found a love for dancing as well.
I see. And in dance, is it kind of big in Indonesia?
Now, yes, actually for the whole Southeast Asia, now I think in the world, the whole dancing actually is getting really, really big. As we know, last year was breakdancing was part of the Olympics as well.
Oh yes, I heard about that.
So that was big. So people making career from dancing as well, and yeah.
I see. And I mean, thinking about Michael Jackson. I know many dancers, even Vivek too. That's when he had to go to the competition. Then I suggested to him when he was a kid. I said, if you're going to competition, then do Michael Jackson. You won't go wrong. The moonwalks. Basically, I guess that's your kind of favorite as well. And we would like to introduce our next guest, Yek. Thank you, bro, for coming and making it. I know it's a bit not that easy to find the door for this studio. So as you can see, Yek is over here, and as I mentioned in the beginning, that we are going to be talking to Yek, and Yek is a dancer slash rapper.
Yes, sir.
Slash
Wrestler.
Yes,
wrestler.
And then I mean I was just saying to you, that's Sahil, by the way, and he's our teammate who does handling when he is available, and then of course you might know Nico.
Yes, I do.
Yes. So here we go. So Yek, we've been talking to Steve, and we were trying to share his kind of journey from Indonesia to here,
Yes, sir.
and his passion for food, and then of course dance. Let's talk about you. So Yek, are you originally? Let's start with how have you been? What have you been up to today?
Today I've just been focusing on the children. Obviously, me being a wrestler, like to throw them around quite a bit. Are all passionate wrestling fans and dancers, so we've had a bit of a in-house party. We've just been I've just been putting on the speakers, got the microphones out, and then trying to learn how to rap, and pretty much the three things that I'm really good at. They are the reason why I chose to get good at it. So because that's the sort of the direction that they want to go, and so there'll be no retiring for me. For a long time.
Exactly. And then think about kids. So how old are they?
One is 3, one is 7, and the oldest one is 10.
Wow, that's quite kind of nice ages.
Good age.
Good age.
And all 3 are boys, and they are all just rinse and repeat, like they're all doing the exact same thing, so you know what to expect. Like the youngest one's so predictable.
So did it just happen, or did you pre-plan to have 3 sons and they have to be dancers and rappers?
Well, the creative arts side of it, that was unplanned. It was just like, for example, my son Jai, who competed in the same dance competition the weekend as Nico, that you attended, and that was his first competition as well, just like Nico. So I think a couple months before that, he wanted to drop his first round at the jam session, which sort of took me back because he's so young. He's had to watch me teach. He had to sit there and observe. He wasn't allowed to do the workshop unless it was breakdancing with Indo. So I like, for me it's about foundation. Hip hop is at the very core of the foundation. So they're going to be better than me in terms of students being students and remaining, having that forever a student mentality. So I make sure that if they do want to get into dancing, that they spend the year observing what it looks like to be in a classroom and learn how to respect the tutor in front of them, and before we get into them moving. So he never even got to that point where he got to move in a workshop. So out of nowhere at the jam session, and he was just like, I want to go. And I was like, okay, all right. And he goes, I want to be Little Yak. I was like, okay, all right. So I didn't want to argue with him, and he went out there and he did his thing, and it was incredible. I think at the dance competition we had 15 competitors, and we needed 16 for our bracket. And I said, you know what, chuck me in there, even if I win or lose, just give it to the up and comer, and we'll let the competition continue. And then I stopped and looked at my son, and I was like, oh, hang on, do you want to jump in? He was just like, absolutely. So he jumped in the deep end just like Nico there, and smashed it. You know, he got to the semi-finals.
I was there, and I was quite surprised when I saw Nico. I said, it's Nico.
He gave Jai his first album. He beat Jai as well. And he was the MVP of the tournament. And, proud of the rookies,
Exactly. And then we'll be saying congratulations to Nico for achieving that result with dancing. I know when randomly people look at dancing, they might not realize how tough it can be, the pressure that dancers can feel, because of course I live with a dancer, and I've seen him grow from I think he must have picked it up like age 7 or something, and from then I've kind of watched him grow, so I know he takes it very seriously. He'll stress about it. The one thing I haven't until now understood about it, and I'm sure Sahil will understand, he actually writes the steps. So he'll write it in the book, and I don't really, I never knew that you could write those kind of steps and moves, and then then you have to practice and do that fight. So I do realize what it is about, and listening to you, it sounds like serious stuff.
For sure.
And we were thinking that in our days education was serious, like you'll get a lesson and parents will talk to you about that seriously. We wait to dance was like casually, fun, totally. Casual, and same with maybe wrestling, just throw each other and suddenly you become a wrestler. But I do understand that the students, as you said, they need to be observant, and they have to go through certain drills. And now that both of you are here, and I guess one thing common about both of you is it common ground?
Yes, both common ground.
So tell me about common ground.
So common ground started as a crew here in Christchurch around early late 90s and early 2000s, and it started from actually a group of family actually, and now they all moved to Australia, most of them, and they started as a breakdancing group, and they were church based at that time, and I think through back then there's a lot of drop-in center for youth, for the kids at Friday night and Saturday, youth center, and they start going there, and that's how it first started, I think. And then they were based only for performance at the start. They just want to perform. They're not really wanting to get into the battling thing. They just enjoy dancing and stuff like that. But I think after time, the interest of want to test the skill, I think it start building. So that's when I believe the first out of the Christchurch battle, probably when the hip hop summit happening in Auckland early 2001 or 2002, and we start traveling there, entering instead of just watching it, really participating. I actually joined quite late. I started 2001, and that's there were about 30 members, to be honest, at that time, but it was just because a group of friends, and we become. I think most of the crew now happen like it's a group of friends, family, and next thing you know, they're building and that become a solid crew. And that's common ground. I guess that's how we first started. But now we have members all around New Zealand, and also overseas, Hong Kong, Australia as well, Japan. But one thing we know about the common ground, even though we are a breakdancing group, we have members, not just break dancers as well, not b-boys, not breakers or b-girls. We have members like other graffiti artists and other dancers as well from the other side. We just realized that the common ground is for us now as a group of passionate, creative individual and like to give back. That's what we kind of going towards. We have the saying in common ground, we want to inspire before expire.
Yep.
That's our motto.
And then we can say it's actually much more common ground.
Exactly.
But there'll be too long of a title to hear. Anyways, that's good to know. And we are saying that going back, just before going there, I just mentioned that I was very close to actually losing Vivek to like Melbourne or Auckland or somewhere because he was kind of contemplating. And even there was a time that when he was like a kid, he was thinking of going to South Korea. Because of dancing. For dancing, he just wanted to carry himself wherever dance was. And recently, just like 2 years ago, he was quite determined that he would be going for Melbourne or somewhere where dance is happening. But thankfully this year, he actually met or realized that there are enough numbers here that he can crack all these battles and what you talk about. With common ground or your thing here in Christchurch, so which year did you kind of thought that it has kind of started here?
The family is still part of the member, but somewhere in Australia, and we actually just had an interview as well, and a friend of ours wrote a book about New Zealand hip hop called Street Talk.
Yes.
And we have to write a biography about the common ground. So.
And then that book is it available on somewhere?
I think it's it's launched. I think it's like a magazine series, but it's more like a book of the hip hop enthusiasts and participants of New Zealand and Australia. I believe so. So we and then from a couple of interviews, we do have to find out like when did the group start, and then we were kind of second guessing, but then the family that started it told us. So when it started. And
so when was that?
Around 2000, late 1999 to 2000. From around,
I see. And then now it's as I can kind of really, what I seem to hear is it has really grown, and now they are connected to not kind of members. Now we are talking about connecting to countries. Which is sounds quite beautiful. We want to talk about a lot of things just because, of course, I'm looking at the watch as well, and there's so much contents that you both have. But before I go there, quickly, what do you do for your living? Is it?
I'm currently part-time doing working for the wrestling company. That takes quite a bit of chunk of my time with training and helping the up-and-comers and the new draft class that we've got coming through. They're going through their own rookie boot camp. I'm training with them as well and trying to help them build up their characters and get them used to the idea of long-term storytelling and how we can make things make sense for their character and presenting themselves on in front of the camera and getting them to doing their promo work and things like that. Do a lot of marketing and advertising for the company as well. Also teaching dance and music.
And with wrestling, do they have to have this kind of name that will go with their character, and do they have to have a script that they have to say before they actually go into wrestling?
Well, it is. A lot of it is scripted. Like you basically get a basic guideline of how they want the story to go, and then you create the storyline from there. Sort of just dive deeper into the basic guidelines that they give you. Who's going to lay down, and who's going to have the arm raised, and it's all about making that creative and bringing a fresh product to the brand and make sure that they got their eyes peeled. They're watching. So it's about the children. I'm a bad guy. I'm definitely not one of the good guys out there.
Is that for the character?
I'm not thinking Steve for
my
playing.
characters.
We're getting a little bit worried.
It's different too because obviously we've got a big part of the hip hop summit and we are community guys, so it's quite strange going from being in Christchurch, being on the east side, and everyone's got love for you because you're yak and your music and stuff, and then you go to Kaipoi and everyone hates you. And so, but it is a show, and at the end of the day, a lot of what I do with my character is we don't give them what they want, and then one day we give them what they want. When I get hit in the face, they love it. So that's the payoff. I'm laying on the ground. I've just been beaten up badly, and every kid in that building is screaming. They are happy, and that's what we do it for. So,
so the way we hear, so it's happening somewhere in Kaipoi, and is it kind of live for people to come in?
Yes, sir. So the next one is on February the 14th, Valentine's Day. That one is going to be basically like a Royal Rumble. I don't know if you've seen it like a Royal Rumble in wrestling. It's where like they just keep coming out every couple of minutes and they get chucked over the top rope. So I'll be competing in that alongside 20, maybe 30 other people. The shows are at the Kaipoi Club Room, and they're just upstairs there. We always have a sell-out show, so you get your tickets online. You get that on my Instagram and things like that. But
is that a kind of age restricted?
No, all ages. All ages for sure, yeah. Like, we don't lean into, like, bleeding and no, like, hardcore stuff that we're, freaking everyone out. But there are some scary characters there. But you'll notice that a lot of these guys, once they're finished for the night, you'll see them in the crowd.
Can you share some names for us? Because I think we know a few at the international level, like Hulk and Undercover, or all those people. Like, do you have those kind of character names?
Oh, absolutely. My character name's Archie Bauer. I'm Christchurch Wrestling stepfather, so you might hate, but you will respect. And out in Kaipoi, they call me Daddy.
So all those pubs or the liquor shops we have, Daddies, that's not yours.
That's not me. That's not me. That's one of my sons. But same last name. First name Blake, last name Daddy. No, but there are a few cool characters out there. There's one dude called K9 who I'm a big fan of. He barks and the kids love it, and he's just a big machine. We've got some really good characters out there. There's one dude who's just a flex monster, like just a giant meat planet. Like he's just huge, and obviously his name's Big Gun. So there's a bunch of big crazy names out there and stuff. I like to keep mine more synonymous. Like Archie's my son's name. So I named myself after my son because the whole arena screams Archie sucks. Now look at him in the crowd and go, that's all you. And Bauer, I don't live too far away from Bauer Avenue, Brighton. So Archie Bauer, that's how I got my name.
That sounds nice. And the other question I have is before I move to Steve, I think I forgot. Oh, sorry. So where are you originally from? Are you kind of a Kiwi or New Zealand?
I'm from Christchurch. Born and bred. I've been back and forth from Australia my whole life, but Canterbury's home. I'm from the east side of Canterbury.
Well, go Crusaders.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Exactly. And Steve, I think what will be interesting for us to know is I'm just hearing a few kind of whether it's a slang or it's kind of those phrases that you use. So I've been hearing battle, jam, breakdance, those kind of names. So is it all same or do you have like different meaning for different?
There's a different meaning. I mean, like first of all, we call ourselves B-boys or B-girls. Yeah. And
it's not bad girl and bad boys.
No. Well, the B-boys actually, the B stands for, there was two, break boys or break girls. Or the other one is boogie, which is dancing. And also another one is, it was started in Bronx, the dancing started in Bronx, the whole hip hop thing. So it's the Bronx boys or Bronx girls back then. But that's the word break dancing actually got used from, actually it was, not just the media term, but it was a lady actually from UK that was saying it to introduce the dance back then. But it's then it become the word break dancing, but it's actually breaking. So the battle in the aspect is there's three things around the dancing. We always call it the cipher, which is the jam, like a circle, and then you have the performance part, and then you have the battle part. The battle part is, of course, the one that you see versus a team or an individual.
Yeah.
And the cipher part, it's more like a circle when they start sharing. It's more like a conversation, like what we do now. Cipher actually started from a term that used in New York by a group. They call it the 1%ers, and they were scholars and stuff like that. And it means circle. And what happened is in dance, we have a cipher. It's a circle, and we share what you can contribute, what you can show your skill. And then, of course, you have the performance that you have a time limit, and you show them. Jam, usually we call it jam session. Is like you just come and have a muck around, have a play around, have this sharing session. Stuff like that.
I think in Fiji we say cover session.
So conversation, I think conversation would consider as a cipher in a battle. See who can drink the longest, right?
Exactly.
But before you do that, you have to share it first. But that's cipher.
That's interesting. And I've also heard about freestyle.
Freestyle. So freestyle, actually, the freestyle dances that will be start also from America. There's a lot of different type of dance that urban or the kids were doing, and freestyle practically like you just doing it. But unfortunately now they call it the hip hop freestyle exactly. But now freestyle is just like you just dancing to any music or any style that you want to do, which is it's funny because the word freestyle is supposed to be like you not premeditating everything, but unfortunately we know that every dancer had like you said before, they write down the steps, so it's also premeditating. But I think the most for me, a freestyle is whatever music they play, and you have be able to be free with that music, with oh, I only dance to this music. I'm gonna dance to this music with my style. That's more freestyle.
Free your style.
Because in Fiji, we have been having a kind of Kawali competition. So Kawali is more like singing competition. So I mean, they will start with the first whatever they have, and then suddenly a theme will pop up, and then they'll be challenging each other like during the song.
So it's a battle.
So it's more like they have to prepare a lot of. Like they have to have a ton of sets, and they'll be using whatever that's applicable in that kind of round. So I think it's quite similar to that. Well, music playing, you have to have. And Vivek was telling me that if you can come up every time you dance, if you can come up with a different style each time, then you can keep on going. But as soon as you start repeating,
But I think that this is the thing. Like you can come up with a lot of different styles, but you gotta know your strong core foundation. What style you have. I think it's still the same style but different approach. And I think everyone the style is singing, the style is dancing. What type of dance this? But and then you can approach it with maybe with my breaking, I would have an approach with a crump feel. So with a popping feel, with other, I think, that's that interesting thing.
So, sorry.
I was just going to say with us older dancers, for us it was about feeling our way through the movement. Like we didn't have all of these available resources to us, so we had to really dive in the deep end and learn how to swim. With the new generation, they can think their way through the movement because they have these available resources at their fingertips. That they don't necessarily have to just feel their way. They can actually, so for example, with one of my styles, which is crump, our language, we use our hands to speak, kind of like an MC, like a rapper. Back then, the hands, the language, when I first started, there wasn't a thing. So we were really just moving our bodies and trying to feel our way through the dance. Now that these resources are available, that and the dance styles evolved, that you can actually think your way through it. You can actually create by just knowing these things. I think with us it was like shuffled like a deck of cards. We were just playing them anyway. Now you can actually read these cards and play them accordingly. So the difference in with the OGs and the new generation is that raw essence that we can feel our way through it. You can feel it when we dance. And with them sometimes that essence is lost because they were never lost. They would they're reading, writing, and recording. You know what I'm saying? So that's the good thing about us in Christchurch here is there is this connection.
No, definitely. And I think the other one thing I would like to put in is exposure as well. because I think when you go backwards, it was hard to get that exposure
Yeah.
because we are more like isolated in our own kind of district or your group.
Yeah.
And something happens in sports as well. If you don't have enough exposure, like I'm not sure which what is the favorite sport that Indonesia plays, but how many times do we hear them play a sport on international level?
Yeah.
So things like it all depends on exposure as well. And we are, as Fiji, we are facing the similar problems. It's like rugby that we've got a lot of exposure compared to like anything else, like cricket or soccer. They're all sitting at the bottom. So I think exposure does make a difference. And being with Vivek, who actually has both kind of experiences. Experience where, of course, we didn't have the resources. So he was more like reliant on his mentors, who happened to be like Adam, Jeffrey, Min, all those kind of, they were like his mentors. So he had to go there and do it like physically, attend the classes, and then he had to travel to Auckland and get classes. But of course he can't travel to a place like Japan or USA, and that's where those technology came in, where he could learn from a person in USA at his own home, just through video link. So I think I see what you were saying. So that's more like connection, and then coming up with all the other cards that you won't necessarily have in their generation, but now the new generation is having it. And the other thing I loved about even the event that Vivek organized where Nico took part is how they are both generations, and I could really sense the kind of the guidance that the younger generation were wanting, they were appreciating that was coming from the other generation. And hats off to you for providing that guidance and maybe assurance as well, or just being there as a support person. And
I will say that your son is an incredible example of what we're talking about here. Like, you know, like because he did start at a very young age, and he's leading a movement at a very young age, which is something I'm familiar with, saying he's familiar with. And I think you know, his heart for the movement and the culture is a big part of why we are here and keeping an eye on him, making sure he's okay, because we do have certain experiences as well, especially the battle aspect as well. So and because he is again a forever student mentality, you know, it's been so easy to organically let this thing grow, and I mean, he gives us a lot of credit, but he done a lot of that.
Thank you for your compliments. Again, it means a lot to him as well, coming from you. And one question to Steve, and then I'll come back to you, Yek, when I would like to talk about something attached to you, obviously, relating to you. So Steve, how do you manage being a chef and dancing? Because I don't think they might not go very well hand in hand, because he could create accidents and mishaps if you start combining those two together.
I think now I kind of like, I think first of all you gotta know your body. I think I think after.
So you still want to throw the egg over there and dancing in the
I've done it before. I've done dance in my kitchen before. I have video of me dancing in my kitchen.
He's the one that can. He's the one that can
exactly.
do it,
But I think first knowing your body as well. I mean, and also they especially with some of this dance moves that we do, there are physical aspects and then heavy physical aspects. And again, I was saying before, first we started, the video wasn't as much as now.
Exactly.
So everyone was trying to figure out their own, and then everyone figure out their own, they figure out their body. But also during those process, injury happened because you're not doing it right. So now, me with my time, I make sure when I'm dancing, I am fit enough to do it. It shouldn't be forced as well. So me, if I work too hard, I would force myself just for the sake of dance. I would make sure I respect my body as well, and especially because sometimes the injury of the dance, you don't feel it straight away. You know, because you're hype and you're in the moment, and then next thing you know, you have a risk, or you wonder why your thumb is, and then you realize, oh, I popped my thumb today, or
popping. I remember popping. Because Vivek, he was into popping, and then he injured his hand, and he had to have treatment, and that took a bit of time because he couldn't use, I think, one hand. He only was using the other hand for a while. So that's why I know those kind of terminology. It is coming from him, and Vivek was also playing soccer as well. So he didn't really suffer that much injury, though he was a keeper. he actually went to a dance and he broke his ankle. And he just started and did something. His body maybe wasn't ready or something.
Yeah.
And I said, if you had injured yourself playing soccer, then I could have probably said, oh, my son got injured playing soccer, but you broke ankle dancing. explain to my cousins. But anyway, and what I wanted to ask you, Yek, is about rapping.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So once again, how did it all start? Were you trying to say something? You had little times. Sometimes I do the same thing. I don't have much time, and we have in sizes. You only have like 30 seconds, and I have to say this much. So I start going fast. Was it some sort of pressure on you, and start saying something quickly?
That was an awesome way to ask the question. No, like, man, you'd be killing me, bro. The rapping. I think I've done that first day. I didn't realize how funny this was going to be. But the emceeing, the rapping. I think hip hop. I owe a lot to Indo. He's my mentor. He got me into b-boying, and I think I was into rapping and popping first, and then I started b-boying a little bit, and then crump came, and I started crumping. The wrestling came later on. I've only been doing that for just over a year now.
I think you're saying speak
up. Yes, I've been wrestling for just over a year. But the rapping, I've done that since I was like 6. And I think I started. I helped start this my crew that is here now, Pedestal, and they've been around for over 10 years. And I only just came back to the crew now to help them sort of get to the next level. Yeah, so we're using all these art forms that we have here and our collectives like the Crushers Jam, and Pedestal's got their hand on that and keeping an eye on that as well. Midas and Parley is the DJ for the dance event, and his album just dropped recently, My Delicious. So make sure you check that out. And we're going to take over in 2026, and you're going to see a lot of my music come out as well. So we're going to see a whole lot of Archie Bauer, a whole lot of Yaka Blaka, and a whole lot of Yak. Dance.
And just to clarify, so we can get this. So is it your kind of original rapping, or you? Rewrite of someone else?
No, I'm all like original writings for sure. Yeah, I like to change the style up every time. I don't think I'll have a song at the moment that sounds the same either. But like I'm just not only am I exercising my warrior spirit, but I am I guess outpouring in every sort of way that I know how and that I'm passionate about. So sometimes, I mean, you would have seen I'm a bit of a clown. I'm all about entertaining. So a lot of my bars at the moment would be very comedic and things like that. But once you get the platform, and then you get to share exactly how you feel and express.
Actually, I had the privilege. I mean, I didn't come that afternoon, but I came and I had the experience to actually see you live, and I was saying to Vivek that his is quite talented, and we actually loved it. Though I couldn't kind of get the words because it was. I mean, rapping is that's a problem. It comes very fast.
So different languages too now.
Kind of our mind kind of takes a while to process.
Oh, of course.
It's just because we kind of another language as well. We've got 5 minutes, so we don't have much time. I mean, we can't really talk too much, but we will see what we can cover in the 5 minutes that Sahil has kindly given us. So, with your rapping, do you have anything fresh in your mind which you want to just show us?
We
don't have.
Do we have some music or anything like that?
Acapella?
Without music, or you have to have music in the background?
No, I think I'll just plug again. I'll just plug Midas and Parler's album. I think if you want to see sort of what sort of style we're working with, he's right into funk, which is a new style. He's got a very Texas sort of slang to his style. He's a producer, so he produced all of his music. I'm featured on that album as well, and he also. He has a very Kiwi slang to it as well. So me and him, we're probably the clowns of the crew. So we mesh really well.
And does it happen here in Christchurch? Or
for sure. Yeah, we try to look after Christchurch first. Like at the start of this year, we did a New Year's Eve just for the people. But I'll check out the My Delicious album. That's my humble rap debut. really promote it.
Yeah.
We're out there now, so
Sure, no, definitely after this, me and Sal will definitely check that out, and now we can actually say, oh, we know this guy.
yeah. Hey,
Met him.
I'll be at your birthday on the 2nd
Oh, yeah.
on the 2nd of January, and we'll bring the microphone.
Yeah, and we didn't really want to make it on air because we can't cater that many people.
We'll let the actress out.
So we will just say, this is the bad guy, so stay away from me.
No, it's different.
No, definitely not. No, I saw you. You're super talented. So, Steve, I guess you haven't tried rapping yourself?
No. English is not my first language. I tried, to be honest, we tried. I think everyone, I think that's the thing with the hip hop thing. You tried everything, the graffiti, and especially the rapping, of course. We thought we can rap, but not really.
Right.
I stayed in breaking.
Yes, yeah. As I said, we don't really have that much time. I mean, we have a lot of things to talk about. It's so fascinating and so interesting hearing from you. So maybe we'll just close it up with the kind of last kind of questions, one or two. So Steve, apart from this, do you have any love affair for politics?
Politics? Geopolitics maybe? Yeah. But politics itself, I don't really know much about politics. I know what's happening at the moment. But
so when you go to vote, do you just go by the color? Or
no, I actually, that's the thing. I couldn't vote. I couldn't vote because I was a resident, and every time there was a voting, I was away. Yeah, but I haven't voted. Even in Indonesia, I haven't voted at all.
That's it.
Yeah, so
you might want to go there next time then.
I'd love to. I'd love to. You know, whatever
Yeah,
the best for the country, I guess, for the people, I guess that's the best. Right? Yeah, that's me.
I see. And so if you compare like dancing, rapping, and what else you do? Wrestling. So out of these three, which one would be your favorite? Or do you want to just mesh it up and do it all together?
Honestly, b-boying's my favorite.
Yes.
Breakdancing is my favorite by far.
Mm.
I kind of rap because I can break down straight away. You know what I mean? So but I knew I could talk a lot of garbage. But I am really enjoying wrestling right now because we're putting on some great shows for these children out here.
No way. So we are running out of time. So last question and we are off. So Steve, what is your Christmas wish?
Christmas wish?
Sarah's listening.
Everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Everyone's drive safe out there
Yeah.
for everyone that's
Yeah.
traveling on Christmas. You know, you still got New Year's to celebrate as well. So
No,
drive safe.
Yeah. Do you have any Christmas wish yourself?
My heart goes out to those that are less fortunate. And I hope that Santa takes care of them.
Yeah. So there you go. There you go. We have Yek and Yek, who's a wrestler, rapper, and dancer. And we've got Steve in Common Ground, as you've heard, and check out the album that Yek has mentioned, and we'll see if we can get this voice back again some other time as well. It has been very interesting, but obviously we couldn't cover everything. So I think it goes. Be happy, even if you can't dance, to show that you're happy. Okay, be happy. So we'll go off Facebook. We might continue on frequency. So Nico, you should be able to switch off Facebook now. So I'll just say thank you so much, everybody listening, and bye from here.
Thank you.